Welcome to Cravings Control for Fat Loss. I'm your host, Laura Cavallo, former sugar binger, overeater, and yo-yo dieter turned fat loss and cravings coach for hundreds of busy women. Here at Cravings Control for Fat Loss, I'll be sharing mindset, movement, and metabolism strategies for those who are ready to ditch the fat diet cycle and slim down without counting calories, tracking points, or giving up any of the foods they love. Get ready to embrace progress over perfection, grace over guilt, and bring curiosity and learning to the inevitable ups and downs of your life. Expect a decrease in your cravings while seeing and feeling an improvement in how you look, how you feel, and your overall quality of life. I am so excited you're here, boo. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Cravings Control for Fat Loss. My name is Laura Cavallo, your cravings coach. And today I want to share with you how to create more awareness for lasting habit change. Now, awareness is simply the act of being mindful in the present moment, being connected to the present moment. Awareness is the prerequisite for any type of change you want to make in your life, especially when it comes to making a lifestyle change for health and fat loss. I talk a lot about mindset around health, fat loss, body image, food, dieting, but we can't move forward or observe our mindset without being aware of what our actual mindset is, right? So while we think like, oh, I have to change my mindset first, you need to first be aware of what elements around your mindset maybe need changing. So we want to become more attuned and more aware of how our thoughts impact our actions, how certain foods can make us feel, how certain workouts feel, how spending time with certain people can move us forward or maybe even be holding us back. So awareness can help us in all areas of our life, even with our children, our partners, our careers. Awareness is tuning into what's going on, connecting the dots and understanding how things connect and impact each other. In order to become more aware, we need to be mindful, connected to the present moment. So mindfulness brings our attention in, and awareness is a way of connecting those dots and making sense of what's going on. So when we can connect the dots between our actions and favorable outcomes, we're more likely to continue to do those habits and actions. It's like a positive reinforcement. In the same way, when we connect the dots between unfavorable outcomes and our actions, then we're more informed on how to maybe stop those habits or discontinue doing them. Now, how we make sense of things is 100% impacted by our experiences, our thoughts and feelings, which aren't always accurate. But the more we work on asking where our thoughts, feelings, and emotions are coming from, the better versed we become at understanding the source. So I want to share a couple ways, or 4 ways rather, that we encourage our clients to build more awareness and mindfulness into their habits and their day-to-day. The first thing I want to share is slowing down and doing things with more intention. So how many of us just go through the motions each day, right? Get up, same routine, same breakfast, or maybe no breakfast, go to work, same thing for dinner, and do the same thing throughout the day. Maybe you don't even remember driving to work half the time because you're just so much on autopilot. This is a reminder that you don't have to rush, okay? You don't have to take things for granted and that you can slow down. So taking a moment to listen, to smell, to taste things, to touch, to feel them, to be in the moment, to truly listen to people when they're talking instead of what the next thing is or what just happened. This can connect you more to your body and to your mind and to the present moment. So some examples about how slowing down can bring in more awareness is during your workout, being really intentional with the movement, being controlled with the movement, being connected to the movement. How many of us are on our phones or having a conversation with someone or rushing through the workout or watching a television show while we're exercising? Maybe you don't even remember how many rounds did I complete? 1 or 2, right? So feel which muscles are supposed to be working. There's actually studies that show when you send your brain power to muscle group, it actually activates more and works more. Slowing down and doing things with more intention, we can use cooking as an example, right? Maybe you're really taking your time to prepare a meal for yourself. Being intentional about how you're cutting and the prepping and the clean eating surface and the clean prepping surface and putting a meal together that you really enjoy and going through that process with intention. and connectedness. A lot of people say that cooking and even washing dishes feels really meditative because it's almost like you're just really having to focus on that moment in time. You can take the same concept of slowing down and doing things with more intention to eating. So many of us tend to eat on the go, eat at our desk, eat distracted. How does your food taste? What's the texture like? Can you notice any flavor patterns in there? Can you eat in a different environment that maybe will force you to slow down a little bit? Maybe turn the TV off or step away from your desk. Slowing down and being more intentional can translate to your relationship with your partner. Really listening. How was your day? Asking more in-depth questions. What happened? Who'd you see? Who'd you talk to? Anything interesting happen? Really internalizing and listening and just being in that present moment without thinking of what you have to tell them or thinking about the fight you had this morning or something that you have to bring up that happened this morning, right? So just slowing down, being more intentional with anything you're doing throughout the day. So a second thing that you can do to bring more awareness to your habits is notice repeating patterns. This could be emotional patterns. These could be physical patterns. These could be psychological patterns. So for example, if we're taking this in the way of health and fitness, is there a time of day that you're more energized? That's one very simple way just to be more aware of your body. Oh yeah, I definitely have more energy in the mornings. Is there a time of day that you crave more? Is there a time of day that you eat more? Is there a time of day that you're more stressed? Write these things down. Is there a time of the day or the week or the month that you're more or less motivated to exercise? How do certain foods make you feel? How does maybe dairy sit with you? How does a bag of chips sit with you? Does every time you have some ice cream, do you feel some bloating or gas or indigestion? Or do you feel fine? How do you feel every time you eat that bag of chips? How do you feel after you have a big lunch and you have that afternoon crash, right? Are you eating something in particular that's giving you that crash? How do you feel after leg day? Do you feel really energized the next day? Do you feel more hungry? Do you feel more sore and you can't go on a walk or you can't sit? Okay, so these are all ways of noticing repeating patterns. You can become more aware of how your actions are impacting outcomes, right? And now you can start to connect the dots. Is this something favorable? Is this something unfavorable? Another pattern you can notice is how does your body respond to alcohol? Do you get dehydrated or headaches? How do you sleep when you drink? Do you crave more food the next day? Are you still able to get up early, but maybe you have a headache or you have anxiety? Start to connect these patterns and these dots and start to link them back to some of your actions. Another way we can build more awareness with our habits is to take 5 minutes per day to sit in the moment without distractions. This can be less time on your phone. It could be more time in nature. It could be sitting silently for 5 minutes. It could be meditation. It could be simply just not having the radio or the TV on in the background. I know a lot of people have that for comfort, right? And it kind of distracts us. Nature is one of the best ways that we can attune to the present moment. If you can get out for a walk or drive to a park. And then number 4, another way to build awareness around in your own mindset is seeing things from other people's perspective or from a different perspective, trying to shift your viewpoint, see things how other people see things. This allows you to become more attuned to different viewpoints, different situations, putting yourself in other people's shoes, seeing things in a way that maybe you would have never seen before. I know this strategy helps me a lot when maybe I'm going through a conflict with friends or a parent or a loved one. Right? And maybe I'm being stubborn and, my way's right. And then I start seeing it from their point of view. I'm like, maybe there's more to the story here. So when we become more aware of our habits and how our habits are unfolding in our life, whether it's positive or negative or holding us back from our goals, now there's more of an opportunity for us to make changes or to continue doing what we're doing and to connect those dots. That's one of the metaphors I like to use with our clients is, okay, this happened. Why? What caused it? It didn't just come out of thin air. What were you thinking? What were you doing? Who was around? Now we can become more knowledgeable about our own patterns and breaking them or creating them. And awareness really is step number 1 in building better habits or breaking old habits. So definitely start to see if you can bring some of these things into your day-to-day. Maybe it's just taking 5 minutes to sit in silence once per day, eating without the TV on. When you exercise, maybe you don't listen to music. You really send your brain power to that muscle that you're working. Keep an eye out for patterns, repeating patterns, and then seeing things from other people's perspective. So, in summary, 4 things that you can do to build more awareness with your habits is slowing down and doing things with more intention, cooking, eating, relationships, workouts. Number 2 is notice repeating patterns. How does food make you feel? When does your motivation wax and wane? How does alcohol impact your body and your mind? How does sleep impact you? Number 3, take 5 minutes per day to sit in the moment without distractions. And then number 4 is see things from other people's perspectives. If you have anything else to add to this conversation, I'd love to hear your thoughts on awareness or any awareness building habits. Go ahead and drop me a line on Instagram at lauracavallo__cravings_coach. And I'll see you over there. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you're enjoying the podcast, it would mean so much to me if you took less than 2 minutes to give us 5 stars and submit a quick review. Your feedback helps other women who are looking for help with their cravings and fat loss goals find us more easily and benefit from the free content we share. Thank you so much. It truly means a lot.